how can we build a prepper's pantry, building as much as we can to put up just in case, building a true stockpile to take care of our family. So I'm going to give you 10 things that you could purchase at Walmart right now for about 25 bucks. Every time you go to Walmart, if it's once a week, once a month, start buying this little list, add to it, and when you look back a few months from now, you're going to realize you've put a lot of stockpile up, and you've done it in a very smart and budget-oriented way. What are those things that we can purchase and why they're important to our family? So let's jump into a great list, something that makes it easier for beginners, but also people on a budget to start looking at Walmart for an option to buy some stockpile goods. The video is going to be a good one. It starts right now. You can probably hear the pigs in the background or even the sheep because they see me, they think I'm gonna feed them, which I'm not. And also I'm standing in front of one of our big gardens. My goal is always to tell you to start growing your own food. But say you can't, say you don't have a place to grow food, say you can't raise animals. What other way can you start building a prepper's pantry? Well, you have to shop for it, you have to budget for it, and you have to make wise decisions with your money. So let's talk about spending $25 at Walmart, doing this maybe once a week, once a month, whatever your budget allows, and you can start building a great prepper's pantry on a budget. So let's jump right into it. This list is very easy. It's things that we already know that we need to be buying. But when we buy it in smaller context, it allows us to feel like we're adding to it without hurting our budget. Now, if you can buy in bulk, you buy in bulk, but this is not that video. This video is simply for the one who's on a budget, who is trying to save money. So let's jump right into number one. Number one would be a gallon of water. So I would say every time you go to Walmart, pick up a gallon of water. Now this gallon of water, the spring water or distilled water, whatever you like, the nursery water, for instance, like in the baby section, they have an infant version of that where you mix formula with it. That tends to be a cleaner water too. Now I would never tell you to store in this gallon for a long time. However, at last resort, I have tons of these myself. Even though I have a running creek and even though we have a hand pump well, I still buy water till this day. I can always boil it or I can always utilize it if worst comes to worst. So look at water storage, but really right now we're talking about, again, buying a simple list to be a beginner prepper or to say, I just want to put up enough just in case. So buy a gallon of water to be number one. Usually $1 to $1.50 at my personal Walmart. If you're buying a nicer brand, it may cost you $2. We're not trying to buy the name brand stuff. Buy the great value version of it, $1 to $1.50. You're set to go. That's the first buy of this list. Number two is a small pack of batteries. Now, batteries tend to cost a lot of money. If you buy a master pack or a big pack or a family size kind of version, you can spend $15 to $30 on batteries, just in batteries alone. So I'm saying, okay, this week let's buy 2 9-volt. Next week let's buy a pack of 4 AA. Next week let's buy a pack of 4 AAA. Next week let's buy the C's or the D's. That doesn't seem like it's a lot of batteries, but we did this for a long time, and when we look back 5 to 6 months from now, we had a stockpile full of batteries. You're not hurting the flow for other people to purchase. It's not hurting your budget, but buy a pack of batteries here and there. Every time you go, just pick up a little small pack. It's going to run you around $3 to $4 for just the off-brand version. If you're buying like a Duracell or Energizer for a 4-pack, you still may pay $6 or $7. So stick with the off-brand. They have a lot of off-brands at dollar stores, but Walmart also has a kind of like a cheaper version. You can look at the Revax or look at a cheap option for batteries, just a little 2 or 4-pack. It will add up over time. Spend another $4. There you go. You've got some batteries. Number 3 would be salt and spices. Every time you go to Walmart, pick up some salt and spices. Salt and spices not only adds, of course, a flavoring to your food from the monotonous flavor of a lot of prepping food, such as some of the other things we're going to be talking about in this list. For instance, salt and spices are what we're using just this week to cure out our meat. Not having to go into the refrigerator for long, learning how to cure the meat with salt, learning how to brine certain meats with salt, and using spices to, again, add flavoring, but more than that, to preserve meat and preserve food. So add salt and pepper or add salt and spices every time you go. Salt would be the staple. So every week you pick up a little thing of salt. I like the pink Himalayan, but sometimes it's pricier. So you make it go with the natural sea salt. literally $2 or $3, you've got 2 spices, a salt and a spice. The little McCormick spice containers, those are perfect. Pick up one of those, $1 or $2 here and there. I would look at things like cinnamon, cayenne, orange peel, and then herbs such as oregano, basil, bay. Those things are not only good for us to put on food, again for spices, it helps for preservatives, but also is very good for our health. The McCormick's, a lot of those are non-GMO, and they're not that pricey. Buy the little small ones, and there you go, you're adding to your collection. Salt and a spice would be number 3. Number 4 would be picking up fire needs. So this week, pick up matches. Next week, pick up lighter fluid or a lighter. For instance, the little packs, you could buy 5 for 97 cents at my Walmart, or you can buy the one big pack for usually about $1.07 here at my Walmart. So it's not going to be much difference at your local Walmart. The little lighters, the little cheap big lighters, those are literally under $1. They may cost a little bit more at your Walmart. That's okay. So don't buy the 4-pack. Buy the 1-pack or the 2-pack. Buy the little thing of matches. You can do this for literally $1 or $2, and you're adding to fire needs. We don't realize how important fire is, but when it comes to maybe boiling our water, heating up our food, sanitizing, fire is a good necessity to have. If you have those things, not only do you have them, they can be bartered, just like the salt. It is worthwhile to have because it is versatile to be able to utilize. So pick up a lighter or a thing of matches or some kindling or some lighter fluid each time you go to Walmart. Buy the smallest version so you're saving money. You're only spending to $1, $2 if you're buying lighter fluid. Sometimes it could cost $2.48 here at my Walmart if you're buying the off-brand. Hey, pick it up, it's good to have. Number 5, we're gonna be adding a protein. So number 5 would be a can of tuna. Now, a can of tuna at my Walmart goes from $1.98 to $2.58 for the cheaper economic brand of tuna, the small single cans. That is a lot of protein. I think it's like 26 grams of protein in that one can of tuna with 110 calories. So it's a leaner protein, but it will give you a quality food to eat. Now, I know people say, oh, tuna, you know, it's got so much mercury in it, it could hurt you if you eat a lot of it. Well, you're not living off tuna, but pick up a can of tuna every time you go to Walmart, or a can of protein every time you go to Walmart. The reason I lean back towards tuna, because if we're on a budget, tuna is the best kind of protein. It's not full of sodium or so much extra additives like some things like potted meat or Spam. That's okay too, but look at the tuna. The chicken is very good and would be even better for the protein. It tastes better to you, and also it has a little bit more calories. However, the canned chicken will cost you more. So if your budget allows it, canned chicken. But if your budget doesn't allow it, just pick up a can of tuna each time you go. You don't realize how vital protein would be if we get in a situation where we're having to live off what we have in our pantry. Tuna is a go-to. Number 6 is a pack of noodles. If you want box noodles or long spaghetti noodles or fettuccine, I don't care, whatever you like the best for you and your family. Now, all these things we're rotating around, but like noodles you can put up in a Mylar bag or in some kind of food grade bucket, and they're going to last a long time. Now, if you want to say, hey, we're just worried about rotation, we're not preppers, but we want a stocked pantry, you can pick up a pack of noodles at my local Walmart for literally anywhere from 80 cents for the off-brand to about $1.30, depending on what brand you like. It's more on the economic side. That, I'm not talking about family sizes, I'm talking about the just simple packs of noodles that you would typically see everybody's buying. Spaghetti noodles tend to be cheaper than a lot of them, or the macaroni noodles. Both those are good options. You can use them, they can be versatile. You can make you a tuna casserole with your tuna, or you can have them as a good filler. It's a good carb, calories, especially if we're in a situation where we're living off our pantry. Add to the tuna, you get protein. Literally $1 to $1.50 or even less, you can pick up a pack of noodles, something you should be putting up just about every week. Say for instance you have little kids and you're thinking, I don't want just noodles, they're not going to eat just noodles. Buy macaroni. The Annie's brand macaroni is expensive, but the Kraft brand is not. The Great Value is not. So this is not about buying high-end quality food. We're talking budget food, and this will get you out of a bind. They can cost you $1 to $1.25 if you're buying a box of them. So if you want the cheese in there, have at it. But other than that, stick to just the simple noodles. It will take you a long way. It will get you out of a bind, and it's adding a lot of carbs and a lot of calories to your diet and also to your pantry. Number 7 is my favorite. I absolutely could live off of it, I know I've talked about this in several videos, is peanut butter. Buy a peanut butter. Now I say buy peanut butter or a peanut butter spread just because it has a lot of protein, a lot of fat and oil, but also has a lot of calories. So it has a best bang for your buck, especially if you don't have a lot of meat in your diet or have a lot of meat put up in your pantry. Peanut butter is a protein that adds to it. Now people say, oh, I like the almond butter or I like the cashew butter. You're gonna pay a lot of money for that, and so when we're talking about prepping on a budget, stick to the peanut butter. I like Crazy Richard's. It's a non-GMO, non-additive. It doesn't have any extra oil added to it or any sugar added to it. It's just peanuts with its known natural oil, and then it's made into the cream spread. So Crazy Richard's is my favorite. You can pay at $1.96 at my Walmart for a can of peanut butter. We literally buy peanut butter every time we go to a grocery store, but put that on the list. It's good to have. Now this is one thing that may last a year, 16, 18 months if they keep sealed and you're putting them in a nice area in your pantry. But I would rotate. All these things are meant for rotation. Peanut butter is one of those. It will go rancid if you let it go for a long time. Some natural organic peanut butters will last a little bit longer. This Crazy Richard's I love. We eat it so quick it will never last a year, but we keep a lot in the stockpile, so therefore we're always rotating and always have some in excess if we ever need it. There you go. You have a fat, a carb, a protein, and also some calories. It's very good for a prepper's pantry. Now let's talk about the staples. Of course anybody tells you, and it's going to be number 8 is going to be rice. Buy a pack of rice. It's $1.58 to $2.24 at my local Walmart. There is one little smaller brand that's like the little individual packs. They're about $1. You could even do that, but just the simple long grain rice or whatever kind that you're liking, keep it on an economic standpoint to where you say you have a regular cheap non-GMO rice. Don't have any kind of chemicals, any kind of flavoring in it, just rice. Again, it's a good filler, good calories, good carbs, and you can add it to any dish to make it grow and fill you up. This is a staple for any prepper's pantry, and everybody who is prepping probably tells you they have too much rice. You're tired of hearing about rice, but the reason people have it is because it's a go-to and it's economic food. So get rice, make sure you pick up a pack each time you go. Again, $1 to $1.50, maybe $2 if you're gonna buy the nicer brands. If you wanna spend top dollar, great. This is a budget video. Buy the smaller packs every time you go. When you walk in the door, when we started prepping probably 10 to 12 years ago, we would literally buy an individual pack of rice every time we went to Walmart. And all of a sudden we got so much we were putting it in 5-gallon buckets and miler bags. So it will grow. You just have to be slow and steady, patient, grow in your pantry on a budget, and this is a great way. Adding rice, of course. Now I sound like everybody else. Rice and beans, beans and rice. Number 9 would be beans. Again, carbs, fiber, a lot of beans even have a lot of protein in them. Pick up a thing of pinto beans, navy beans, black beans, anything you like. Garbanzo beans, lentils. Lentils, I'd say the peas like lentils or the garbanzo or chickpeas would be best because it's loaded full of protein. But they are good to have for sure. They are good to have no matter what, to pick up a thing of beans. If you don't like the monotony, don't pick up the same bean every time, but you need to have those in your stockpile and in your prepper's pantry. I know everybody doesn't want to live off rice and beans, but the reason all preppers and all people who say they're putting up in their pantry, all of them talk about rice and beans, is because they are staples and they need to be added, and they're very economic. So a pack of beans at my local Walmart, again, is $1.98 to $2.28 for the small pack of pinto beans. Black beans are like $2.28 to $2.58. If you're talking garbanzo or lentils, sometimes lentils can be pretty cheap, but like garbanzo tends to be a little bit more, but that's okay. Pick them up, spend $2 or $3 every time you go to Walmart on some beans. Dried beans last a long time. The best thing to do as you add these up, take them out of the plastic just like the rice, dump them into something like a miler bag or a food grade bucket, seal them up. They're gonna last a lifetime. They're not gonna go bad, and it allows you to know you have that food just for safety. And so a lot of this stuff depended on the water that we had that needs to be rehydrated, such as the dry beans, the rice, the noodles. But now let's talk about the last thing, which is number 10. 2 cans of vegetables each week you go to Walmart. Canned vegetables are dirt cheap. Now again, we grow over 10,000 square feet of gardens, and we're actually canning today. Misty's been canning literally all day. But the purpose of picking up things like that is it adds up, it already is rehydrated, so you can pop a top on the can and you can start eating it. It allows you to know you have food ready to go. We call it the homesteaders or the preppers fast food. Pop the top, Open it with a can opener, and if you can heat it up, great. But if you can't, having a wet food instead of just the dried goods is going to be good to have. Redundancy is not bad. So you can pick up beans, but you can pick them up in the can form where they're already rehydrated, already ready to eat. Again, heating them up would be best, but if worse than the worst, you could eat them straight out of the can. Same way with corn, or same way with tomatoes, whatever you're picking up, switch it up, but don't pick up something like hominy if you don't eat hominy. A lot of times we hear people, they'll just go and stockpile and hoard, and they're buying stuff that they don't even eat, or their kids don't even eat. Make sure you're making wise decisions, because you need to be eating this pantry, but also adding to it each and every time. We're rotating like we talked about. So picking up 2 cans of vegetables. Now, you can buy the Great Value or the store brand for literally usually $1 or less per can. Pick those up, buy 1 or 2 here and there every week, change it up. If it's tomatoes this week, maybe it might be corn or beans next week, or peas the next week, or kidney beans the next week, whatever your heart desires. But pick up 2 cans each and every time you go in the door of the grocery. So on this list of these 10 things, the most expensive thing I told you would be the batteries, the small packs of batteries, depending on what size you're buying, or maybe the fire needs if you start buying like lighter fluid or kindling. Other than that, the rice, $2 or $3 or less. The bags of beans, $1 or $2 or less. Peanut butter, $2 or less. 2 cans of vegetables, you can be $2.50 or less depending on what you're buying. Now, if you're buying some high-end soup or something like that, you're gonna be paying way more. Don't do that. Just buy cheap canned food that you will eat and that you can have on a budget. A can of tuna, $2.48. Salt and spice, you can pick up usually $1 to $2 to $2.50. Noodles, $1 to $2. Fire needs, and that's again, matches and lighters are usually $1, $1.50, $2. If you're buying lighter fluid, anywhere from $2.50 to $3.50 at our local Walmart, depending on what you're buying, what brand. A small pack of batteries, again, being the most expensive thing on the list, and a gallon of water, which is going to cost you $1 to $2. You are literally around $25, depending on what your tax and maybe a little give and take here, depending on what Walmart you go to. I live in Mississippi, so we're probably the most economic state in the union. But say you had 20 to 30 bucks that you can say, I need to spend discretionarily wise on prepping goods. This could do it, and you can start stocking up. The thing about buying prepping food, or the things about building lists like this, it gives you the peace of mind. And it's not about saying, well, if the crap hits the fan, this $25 is going to save my life for 7 years. That's not the purpose. It's saying I can get through tough times. If it's 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, ration, and we can take care of our family for a certain amount of time. The more that you take this list, the more you add to it, the more you're going to grow your pantry. And then guess what? You have built up a great supply to take care of your family, maybe some distant family, maybe your community, maybe your neighbors. It's always good to have the peace of mind that this can give you, and having food is very, very important. And we make lists all the time for you, and we talk about gardening. We talk about buying better quality foods. If we're shopping, we're buying holistically, we're buying organically. But when we talk about budget planning and making sure we start the stockpile, we started just like this years and years and years ago, and we would buy this stuff and put it up. Now that we've got a good stockpile, then we can clean it up, eat what we had in supply, and stock up good quality foods through what we're growing now. But if you can't grow, you live in the city, you live in apartments, start buying these things. Now, how can we store it? Look at food grade buckets. Look at little containers that will slide under your bed. Look at closets. Look at ways that you can take in closets and maybe be minimal. Maybe put your clothes in some kind of cabinet or some kind of drawers and use your closet space to start a little prepping pantry. That peace of mind is going to be way more important to you when everything is going crazy around you, and you know you have food, you know you have some goods, you know how you can light a fire. Having those things would be great for you and your family. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you're new to the Max, remember we are giving away thousands of dollars worth of goods once we get to 200,000 subscribers. So we do ask you to please go down here and subscribe. That's all it takes to get into the giveaway. And then we're going to be giving away something each and every month for you as our subscribers, just to say thank you. No cost oriented, nothing else to sign up other than being a subscriber to the Max. We hope you enjoy this channel. We hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless. Happy homestead, y'all.